Good evening. It is evening, right? Okay. Anyways. So, it's Sunday. And every Sunday we have a team call. You're good, baby. My 9-year-old's sitting in the living room and deciding, she's like, do I need to move? Is Mommy going to yell at me because she's going live? No, she can stay there. She's quiet. For now. We'll see. If she gets loud, then we'll have other issues. So, one thing I wanted to go through and just really kind of talk today, because I haven't been at work in a week because I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I am going back to work tomorrow, and I am slightly terrified because I'm still able to check my stats and whatnot, and my stats are through the ground. They are dead in a 6-foot grave. So I'm kind of interested to see how tomorrow is going to go. However, that being said, I wanted to just kind of hop on here and just kind of talk, because there's a lot of things going on in the world, with all the changes and everything like that. And I wanted to talk about adaptability and something people are really, really terrified of, and it's failure. And I say that because I'm terrified of failure. With me being a single mom, I don't have the option to fail. And for the longest time, there were things that I just didn't do because I'm like, well, what if this doesn't turn out right? What if this doesn't go well? What if this? What if that? And I am having to get myself out of that mindset. And that is really what everything is. In my glasses, I'm seeing the reflection of a computer and this and that. And so off they go. So I kind of wanted to go over some things. And like I said, Sundays are a team training day for me, because every week part of our upline gives us a free training. And it is already a good day on Sunday between, what used to be NASCAR day, and also Formula One, and just things like that I really, really enjoy outside of this. Sunday is my self-care day. And Sunday is the day for me to get rejuvenated and get ready for the next week. And if anyone else is like me, that means that you're probably miserable on Sundays, because you're like, oh, I got all this stuff I got to do and this and that. And I am right there with you. I'm not even going to lie. I am there. But there were some things that really stuck out to me today on the training. And I was really excited, and there are some things I'm putting into action, which you guys can only wait to see. So you guys will have to stick around a little bit for that too. But there was a couple of things, like I said, that stood out. There were a couple of things that really, really had me pumped. And there was a whole lot. I can't even lie and say there was only a little bit. There was a whole lot. So some of the biggest things is no one plans for you. And the fact that in this business, yes, we're in the business for ourselves, but we're not alone. We're a whole neighborhood. We are a community. Think of a gated community where you have neighbors everywhere that you can go to and get ideas from. All you have to do is ask. And that really, really stuck out to me. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I knew I was in this business for myself, but I wasn't here by myself. I know if I had questions, I could go and say, hey, I've tried this didn't work. Can you help me tweak it? I also know from my corporate jobs that I can't use an excuse. I can't go, hey, this didn't work. That's not going to work. I have to be able to go, hey, I tried this. It didn't work the first time. I tried it again. I tweaked it a little bit, but it's still not going the way I planned. Can you help? I was thinking maybe this, and this. Can you help me with some phrasing? Maybe some key words that work? And sometimes that helps. And then I try it a little bit. If it works, fantastic. I run with it. If it doesn't, I say, hey, we tried this. It didn't go the way we wanted. The outcome wasn't what we had. Let's readapt, regroup, and go on with something else. So that is where that is coming to. So there's a lot of things. Like I said, you're a neighbor. So if you have questions, it's not directly your upline. You know, maybe your upline has said, hey, I do this and this works really well. Well, you tried and it's a total flop. Okay, cool. You know, say, well, what else have you tried? You know, maybe see where and what your upline did that didn't work for them. And try to start there. Do something that didn't work for them. Because who knows, it might be the thing that propels you to the next level in whatever you do. Now, the next thing, the no one plans for you. I have said this before, and I will say it again and again and again until I'm blue in the face, because I probably will be blue in the face from saying it so many times. And I say it to my kids, that I can't make you do something. Well, my kids I kind of can because I'm their mom. But I can't make a plan for you because you're not committed in it, which means you're not going to want to do it. And if you don't care because you didn't invest in it yourself, then to me it was almost a waste of time. And it's not that I say that in a mean way. I say that in a completely honest way. If I do something for you, what are you going to do? You're not going to work for it because you didn't come up with it. This is your business for you, for your life. Your experiences are different than mine. If a daily schedule works for me, I know how much time I need to do certain things. That doesn't mean that that same timetable is going to work for you. So I wanted to go through, hit on that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do, because like I said, everyone is afraid of failure. Deep down, there is something you probably don't want to do or don't want to try because you're worried it's not going to work out. So there are two quotes that I kind of want to share with you and maybe go into a little bit more on my thought process. So failure is success in progress is the first one by Albert Einstein. It's Einstein. Come on. I mean, genius. But ultimately, that means that failure isn't a failure. It's a roadblock. It is a detour to success. But if you tried something new, that's still progress. That was something you hadn't tried before. You know, I've been with a couple of companies and I didn't like lives. I hadn't really gone live, you know, because I hear my voice all the time and I personally don't like it. But, you know, that's just me being me. There are some things that do need to be said. I do have value to bring, you know, and because of that, I wanted, you know, to try something new. And I'll be honest, it's very easy to see the fact that, you know, I don't have viewers or I only have 1 or 2 people viewing, you know, and then I hop on someone else's live and they have 100 to 200, if not more people watching. And the comparison game is real. That struggle, completely real. I can't even lie. You know, it does get disheartening because you're like, man, why do they like her and not me? But you have to take your mindset out of that. The fact that you went live, that's a huge thing. Because there are a lot of people that won't do it because they're like, well, no one's going to watch. You know, no one cares what I have to say. And that's not necessarily true. You know, maybe people are at work. Maybe they had to put their kids down. You know, there's other things that they can do. And because of that, it's, hey, Billy, I appreciate you dropping in. Thanks for catching the live. You know, so it is one of those things where you do kind of have to be careful because those comparison games are gonna hurt. I don't know why I keep phrasing it that way, but that's the only thing I can think of. And let me see. And nothing wants to work for me, so whatever. I give up. I'm just not gonna try. Hi, baby. Yes, mommy's going live. Oh, geez. You gotta come say hi, don't you? Hi, my cute mini Harley. Night-night. Well, you need to be getting ready to go to bed because it's like 9:30, okay?
But I want some milk.
No. You need to be going to bed.
What?
You need to be going to bed. Thanks. That was my 7-year-old. She thinks she's adorable. By that I mean she has a massive attitude. She takes after my mom. And me. And everyone else in my family that I can think of. I mean, honestly, like, I don't like being on camera either. And it's really funny because I'm like, well, I go live probably 2 to 3 times a week. But I hate being on camera. And everyone's like, why? And, you know, because I don't see the same thing other people see. And come here, Arizona. Now my oldest is jealous since her sister got to be in the live. Now she has to be in the live. Okay, bedtime. Thanks, babe. Leave your iPad. Good try. No electronics in bed. You know better. You know, so it's tricky because, like, I don't like going live, you know, and a lot of times, like, when I do my makeup and I do my get ready with me's, you know, I'm typically watching myself in a mirror doing my makeup. So I'm like, okay, well, there's no different. Turn on a phone, use your phone as a camera. Talk. Like, you randomly talk to yourself anyways because you're crazy and you have no friends and no social life. You know, so that's kind of how I started. And I'll be honest, like, to this day, everyone's like, you do so well on lives. And I'm like, I do what? Because I don't see it. I just don't. But obviously, if people keep telling me this, I have to start believing them eventually. Maybe. I doubt it. I might. Who knows? World's ever changing, right? But like I said, this meeting that we just got off the phone with really had me stoked and really had me motivated and pumped. And I'm like, oh no, it's 9:30 o'clock. 9:30 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock at night, and like I have to go to work tomorrow. Like, I need to start, you know, doing something. Well, I mean, come on, Billy. Like, you play video games, you work on cars when you have one. You know, but there's always different things you can do. Like, for example, one of the things I'm planning on doing, and I get really fearful for this because I'm not the perfect mom. I'm not the perfect housekeeper. And I know that, and it's something I have to work on, you know, and I have to prioritize and get better at things like that. But I will get there. I know I will. So I just kind of have to keep going and keep trying new things, you know, because before lives, like I said, I didn't go. I never pushed that button. Could I have? Yeah, but I never did. I avoided it worse than the plague, or in this case, COVID-19. And I just kind of went through and did that. And, you know, someone's like, just push it. And I'm like, I don't want to. And they're like, I dare you to. If you go live, I'll give you $5. And I'm like, okay, you didn't specify how long I had to go live for. You know, so I just went. And, you know, I'm almost at the point where, especially when I do motivational quotes and, like, my thoughts about something like that, it's more along the lines of a video blog where I'm like, okay, here's a quote. What do I think? How does that relate to what's going on with me right now? How does it relate to life in general? And then, you know, a year later, who knows? That same quote's probably going to come up in my memories on Facebook. And then I'm going to have a possibility of having a totally different outlook. So now in a year, how much mentally and emotionally and metaphysically have I grown? And that's kind of what made me say, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. It's crazy. I'm crazy. Whatever, we'll go with it. And my kid's trying to sneak off and do diamond painting instead of going to bed. she's pushing her limits because she knows I'm lying. But, that's one of the quotes, about the fact that failure is success and progress. You don't fail until you stop. When you stop is when you fail. When you give up is when you fail. The next quote is a little bit longer. I didn't read the quote completely. I just went with it because I figured, here's the thing, Billy, like with what you just said, I don't see what others see. I don't. But I still do it. I'll be honest. I get 1, 2, viewers at a time. And I could let that dishearten me, I could be wasting my time. But I have to change that mindset. So I don't like what I see. So I don't like what I hear. So I don't like the way I sound, the way I look. I'm like, I'm a hot mess. But I still do it. And that's the thing. I am prioritizing myself and what I want of my future and my livelihood. I'm not willing to sacrifice that because I don't like how I look. I mean, that's just the truth. I want a high class lifestyle, so to speak. And I want to affect other people that I wouldn't have normally got to talk to and interact. So because of that, it gives people a chance to meet me. Like you and I, we met at work. Guess what? We were face to face. I mean, you had to listen to me talk and I was a loudmouth. I know it. Whatever. But that same thing, kind of goes through that. No, TikTok will be the death of me because I will randomly start scrolling and never get out. But I have a technique for that. So TikTok may be going a different sort of way. And honestly, I don't get all of that stuff. Like, I don't know what a time lapse is, to be completely honest. I think I have an idea. But I'm not technically dumb, but I'm not technically savvy either. Now the next quote, like I said, I didn't read who said this. I just went with it. But it was from former President Barack Obama. So he said, you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. That one right there, spoke loads to me. Because I have a bad habit of saying, I failed at that. That I suck at makeup. I suck at this. Whatever. I'm a failure at this. I can't do this. And that can drain you. And it's a mental thing. Most of the time, people do let their failures define them. And the ones that don't, and that they learn from those failures, are the ones who typically succeed. So, by letting your failures teach you, it's like I mentioned earlier, something didn't work out exactly the way you wanted. Okay, well, can I change this word? Like, is this the word that's repelling everyone and making them not want to look at this? Is it my high-pitched voice? Is it the fact that some days I'm like, hey, I'm really excited, but you can't tell. And that could be more my mental health than anything. But, sorry. Wisdom teeth still messing with me. There's a hole in the back. So, that is one of those things where I have to get used to. And it's definitely one of those things that are scary. But, like I said at the beginning of this, it is Sunday. It is the start of a new week. It is day one. Here is the foundation, and ending the day off with that call and getting a kickstart into Monday is going to be absolutely great for me. Like I said, I'm not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow. I am actually really, really dreading it. But, exactly, just like that. Like, the light bulb wasn't invented overnight. Like, it was time after time after time again. And then you go from there and you're like, damn, if he would have given up or let that failure define him, what would we be using for light? Like, when you twist things that way and you think about it that way, like, it's totally different and a huge mindset change, and that's why, like, for me, personal development and positive affirmations and, sounding dumb or repeating positive stuff to me about how worthy I am, might seem cocky to others, but because I don't believe it, I won't necessarily because I don't believe it, but because I didn't believe it, it's something I have to remind myself. I have to train myself. Like, I'm not a kid. I don't have a parent telling me, you're smart, you're intelligent, you can figure this out. I don't have a parent telling me that. My parents told me something completely different, and that was what defined me. And now that I'm an adult, I have to retrain myself. And everyone knows when you're a kid, you just kind of go with the flow. As an adult, you're like, that's not what I was taught. That's not how this goes. And as an adult, that foundation has already been laid. So trying to change it takes a little bit longer. They say a habit takes 21 days to form. But my thing is once you have, a habit that's been ingrained in you and it's like down to every fiber of your being for like 20 plus years, like, it takes longer than 21 days to break. And that's the thing is I know I am, but it took me a while to realize what I deserved. I didn't think that I deserved a house. I didn't think that I deserved to do this on my own. I still don't think I do. But I'm proud that I do it on my own, and I know that sounds a little like to toot my horn, but there's so many people that are counting against me and hoping that I fail that I'm like, I'm not giving them the satisfaction. I'm going to keep trying until I'm in my grave just because you said I can't. Like, that's just me being completely honest. You tell me I can't, and I'm going to do exactly what you say I can't do. So, I will say I do still have some pretty big goals right now going on. And I know I will get to them. I'm not there quite yet. But I will definitely get there. And, that's the one thing is I'm brutally honest with my kids, and I tell them how it is. And I think they made a mess because they're being all quiet now. So, I'm trying not to scream and lose all my mind at them, but I will be fine. They will be okay. And it's definitely one of those things that you have to change. You have to make it worth it. And that is something that I have realized, and I have also realized that there's an inner beauty to confidence without being cocky, and I'll be honest, I can be humble, like the fact that I'm raising 2 kids and busting my butt, to do what I have to do. Do I do it well all the time? No. Some days I'm a hot mess. Some days I don't want to get up. Some days I don't want to get out of bed. But, I had an earlier video, that kind of talked about a little bit of my bout of depression. And, I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I had to laugh at my doctor. I'm like, you're talking to a single parent. Like, this is normal feeling. This isn't anxiety or depression. I said, but don't get me wrong, it's been going on for before I became a mom. And that's where I'm like, okay, it might be. But I'm like, all of that is just, like, of course I'm worried about my next meal. Of course I worry about if my kids are safe, but that's just because of the world we live in. That's because sometimes the people that are closest to you, will be the ones that hurt you and stab you in the back. And, I know there are some people who will think that is a stab at them. No, it's not. Like, if you think I'm talking about you, then, that's on you. That's not me. I didn't name names. I'm not naming names. But if you think that's about you, reevaluate yourself. See if you want to keep following me. Because if so, some of these videos might get a little hurtful. And I really wish my phone would tell me, like, who's viewing. But it won't let me. Whatever. I give up. Technology is not my friend, obviously. So, I kind of wanted to hop on here because, like I said, after that, call, I was, like, pumped. It definitely was some truth there. And I'm really excited for this next week, And now that I'm getting ready to hop off here, go ahead and let's keep chatting. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm going to put my kids to bed, and then I will probably be up for another 2 hours because A, I can't sleep, and B, yeah, exactly. If you guys want, let me know what your plans are for this week. If you guys have anything exciting or anything like that, and just kind of go from there. Because I know Thanksgiving's coming up, so let's see what we can do and make it a fun one in the midst of this whole COVID-19 pandemic that's still going on 6 months plus later. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I have a 9-year-old that's needing my attention, so I will talk to you guys later this week. Bye!